Donkey kicked me once, donkey's fault. But what happens if the elephants start kicking too? Such was the case when both Democrats and Republicans got together under the battle cry of "too big to fail," referring to their large campaign donors and huge lobbying group, the Banksters of America. Now, those same 6 culprits who received huge taxpayer-funded bailouts, Bank of America, JPMorgan Chase, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley, have now amassed a whopping $300 trillion in derivatives, approximately, as a time bomb waiting to explode. Why? Because the combined assets of those 6 banks are only about $10 trillion. So if and when that time comes, it would likely be the biggest financial crash in the history of the world. So what exactly is a derivative anyway? They are simply bets, outright gambling, if you will, as to what will happen and when. As bad as the stock market may be, at least with stocks you own shares in something, but with derivatives you own thin air. And how could such a huge derivative bubble amass right under our noses with seemingly no one knowing about it? Simple. The big 6 banks don't want us to know. Of course they don't want us to know what they're doing, investing taxpayer bailout money into highly speculative derivative markets. Besides, if the public ever found out how speculative those banks were being, they'd sooner bail out the Venetian, Mandalay Bay, or the MGM Grand or Caesars Palace as being quote-unquote too big to fail. And worse still, the derivatives bubble could explode at any moment without notice. What's that great sucking sound you hear? Hey, don't worry about the sucking sound so much as that financial thermonuclear explosion you're about to hear. Kaboom! All chips off the table. Overnight, we might be trading eggs for crescent wrenches as soon as the dollar no longer spends. And where do you suppose those politicians will be when you confront them on their promise of their one-time bailout, assuring us this would never happen again? They might be hiding in underground bunkers, hiding from both bankers and voters. To learn more about what these 6 banks are up to, and up to their necks into, and what you might be able to do to protect yourself, ask for a free report by calling 800-289-2646 or visiting www.swissamerica.com.